Hey folks, Damon at Black Warrior Lures. As you can see, man, it's just raining and gloomy. Big winter storm coming through. They're promising snow, but it may happen, it may not. Sometimes it snows in Alabama, sometimes it doesn't. Really have been wanting to get out onto the river and get some trolling in, fishing. Maybe we can hook into some stripers or some spotted bass, but just no luck. It's just, but I mean, because of the rain or whatever. But I have been working on a new project I want to tell you about. You guys have seen me building this motor, hot rodding it, modifying it. You've seen me running with it on the lake. Now, when I was first put this whole little motor together, I noticed something about it. I noticed that these motors produce, well, the size of the motor is a 212cc Harbor Freight motor. 212 cc's. It's raining. I don't want to get any water on it, but it's a 212 cc motor, and it only produces 6.5 horsepower. Well, in all my years of looking up outboard motors that I was considering buying, traditional outboards, I've noticed that most 8 to 9.9 horsepower motors come in at about 200 cc's. And yet they're producing 8 and 10 horsepower almost. 8 to 9.9 horsepower, 9.8, 9.9 horse. I'm thinking, well, why is this motor a bigger motor than most outboards of the same size, but producing, you know, far less horsepower? Instead of producing 9 horsepower, it's only producing like 6.5 horsepower. And so I went on this big, long, insane, insane, mad scientist, rabid researcher kind of maddening process of figuring out how to get more horsepower out of these motors. Maybe I will take it off, let you look at it here. I don't have the tail on. It's kind of just looking at this black bag. It's like, what's that, dude? Well, here we go. You guys have seen me do this, and I love running this thing. And again, a motor that's as big as a 10 horsepower motor, but only produced 6.5. Gosh, there's a lot more horsepower hidden. And I started studying what a lot of go-kart engine builders do. These guys at hot rod go-kart motors, like you'd be hot rodding like a 350 small block to go drag race down at the drag strip. And I started studying what they do, and I started studying what engineers talk about in automotives about how to increase horsepower and what makes horsepower and how all that works and the difference between horsepower and torque. And I just spent a lot of time studying that stuff, and I took what I learned from the go-kart guys and from the automotive engineer guys who were building these big motors, and I applied it to mud motors to come up with a way that you can easily upgrade simple bolt-on external components and modifying simple things like here in the carburetor to get a lot more horsepower and torque without ruining the motor or breaking the bank, breaking your bank account. And so now I don't have a small engine dyno, so I can't give you numbers of exactly what I have going here, but looking at other guys who have done similar modifications to go-kart racing motors from stock motors like this, they've pushed them to just shy of 9 horsepower with the simple modifications that you see here. And maybe I'll put a photo there of the original, what the original motor looked like, and then the mods you have here. These are all just external bolt-on mods. And so what I did was I video documented everything I did, and then I kind of just, and that was way before Thanksgiving of 2014. And then I just, didn't really do anything with it, just left the video footage there on the computer, just said, I don't know, I don't know if anybody wants to know about this. But, I started putting more videos out on YouTube for my fishing stuff, and people are seeing me run this thing, and I'm showing some updates of how I'm running it, and people keep asking me more and more questions about how do I hot rod, what parts do I buy, how do I do this or that, or how do I adjust the throttle, or how do I get the throttle to spring back, or how do you jet the carb, and do you have to jet the carb if you do all these other modifications, and there's just a lot of people asking questions. And I said, I got all this footage, people keep asking me about it, and I'm like, I just don't know if I want to put it out there. I just want to go fishing. I don't really want to have to do all this stuff. But then I said, I sure wish somebody had put something up, like a program or a course or a series of steps, something, so that I could just go buy the parts I need, put them together, get it out there and be done, and avoid a lot of the headache and heartbreak. I don't know about you, but sometimes it gets maddening when you do that. And so what I did is I decided to put together a little e-course on building mud motors, hot rodding mud motors, from simple bolt-on stuff like this. And I put together an 8-day e-course. The link is down below. Now it's free. I'm not charging anything for it. So you see what I'm saying? I'm not charging anything for this e-course. This is just the sort of the video documents of how I modified and the parts I used and all that. And so if that's what you want, I don't know why I left that open. If that's what you would like to have, if you would like to have a motor like that, where you can get that extra horsepower out of it for simple bolt-on things, and go check out that my website, and you can get the free course. Again, it's free. I wanted to put it up for free because there's just not a lot of information out there on this, and a lot of people are trying to figure out how to do this, and they don't want to mess anything up, and so there you have it. There's the course, and there's a story of how I kind of did all this stuff. The only thing I have to do now is we can bolt up the PCV system here, but it works fine just like this. And the only other real maddening thing to do is start breaking apart the motor on the inside and start modifying it. But anyway, if you just want those simple mods, go check out that e-course. It's free. There you have it. And I will talk to you guys later.